When did this desire to travel the world, where did it come from? Where did it start from? Where did it originate from? I didn't wake up to become this girl who loves traveling. I've always been this way. Last Sunday I was watching a YouTube video, and the speaker mentioned that we should think about our past and see that there are patterns, there are things that led up to where we are today, there are things that happened in the past, decisions were made in the past that led up to this point. So I took a moment to think about my life up to the past, to when I could remember, when I was very small. When did this desire to travel the world, where did it come from? Where did it start from? Where did it originate from? So I went back in time to when I was like 6 or 7 years. Remember the first time I left my family house to go live with someone else in another place. The first one I could vividly remember is when I moved from our family house to another family, just one house away from my house. It's like, this is our family house, this is another house here, and this is the house I moved into. Because the lady in there, the woman in there, her children are all grown up and are in the university, and they're not living with her actually. She needed a little girl she could spend her time with and help her around the house. And I volunteered. I wanted to move out because I had more desire to experience what it feels like to live with another person, to be in another place, to experience another kind of life. I think that was the first one I could remember. Then from there, fast forward many years later, when I graduated from primary 6, and I was ready to resume JSS1, junior secondary class 1. I remember moving to Lagos State. That was my first time outside Anambra State. I moved to Lagos State to live with my uncle, and that was where I did my JS1, JS2, and first term JSS3. And I went back to my village in Anambra, Owerri, Anambra State, and completed my JS3, SS1, SS2, and SS3. And then immediately we graduated from SS3, I moved, this time with my sister, my immediate other sister. We moved from our hometown, Olifte, to Nnewi, which is close to Olifte, so they share boundaries, but it's kind of a little bit far from home. So we moved there. I stayed there for some months working in a fuel station at the age of 15. And then I moved from same Nnewi. I moved to Nnewi around July, and by December I moved from Nnewi again, this time alone, to Ozubulu, where I got another job in another fuel station to be a pump attendant. Same job I was doing there, but in different location. I've always been that person who loves traveling, moving to different places, experiencing life in different places. So whenever the opportunity comes, I'm always the first person to raise my hands to indicate interest in moving. So I moved again from Nnewi to Ozubulu, and that was my first time living alone. This time I was still 15 years, not yet 16 years. So I was still 15 years, and that was my first time living alone. So this whole thing didn't start today. I'm just giving you a rundown of where all this desire to travel and explore the world, see different places, meet different people, where it all started from. I stayed in Ozubulu for some months. I stayed there for a month. I worked there for a month, living alone. During holidays, my younger sister, my immediate younger sister, comes to stay with me for holidays, and then she goes back for school. It wasn't really far from home because my mom drives all the way from our house in Owerri to come see me there all the time. She brings school stuff, she checks up on me, and I also had a phone, not a smartphone, but a little Nokia phone which we used to communicate. I also used to communicate with my sister in India because she was still there then. So from Ozubulu, I and my sister, we moved back to Owerri. After the first session I was working was bought by another influential person at that time, and they renovated everything, changed the name, and like really made it more beautiful than it was. But we were not there that time. Now from Owerri again, we moved to Abịa State, where my dad started doing business. So we went to stay with him. We started working. That was where I worked as a shoemaker for I think about a year. We were cutting shapes, adding chemical, gumming the whole thing together. That was where I learned how they make shoes, and I also sold. And yeah, we were being paid 700 naira per day, 500 naira actually, then 200 naira for food, but then it could buy a lot of things compared to today. I stayed in Abba for about 2 years. From working as a shoemaker, I went on to learn graphic design and work as a graphic designer in Abịa market. Yeah, inside Abịa market with my sister too. Oh, I missed something actually. When I was in SS2 preparing for my WAEC, during December, I took a solo trip from Orifte to Lagos to visit my uncle. But I was no longer living with them. I was in Orifte for my SS1. There's three SS3, SS1, SS2. So SS2 third term during the long holiday, I took a solo trip from Orifte to Lagos State alone, and I was barely 14 years then, to Lagos State to spend the holiday with them. And after that, I got home again. But this time I went back home with them as a family. Let's go back to Abịa. Now, while in Abịa State, our church organized this convention that was going to last for 2 weeks. And at that time, you only have to pay 3,000 naira to join the trip to Abuja. Now, it would take me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It would take me 7 working days to make that 3,000 naira to register for that convention. And I think that year was 2019. 3,000 was still like a very good amount of money there, because you can use it to buy a whole lot of things. Now, it would take me 7 working days, and that time we don't work on Saturday. We usually spend weekends in my dad's shop helping him with business, also staying in his shop, because you usually go to the market to get stuff, to get food stuff, to get market goods, or usually on Saturday. So we don't work on Saturday, just Monday to Friday. And then that would mean Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and another Monday. To take me that 7 working days to make the 3,000 naira that I would use to register for that convention. Now, every member of our family then was going to that particular church, but I was the only one who was so excited to go on this trip. My dad was like, you don't have any relative there. If anything happens to you there, or if you're starving, you don't have any money to buy things, or you go missing, if anything happens to you there is nobody that you can call on, and there's nobody we can call on to go check on you. But I didn't care. I wasn't worried about that, because, well, this is a church thing. I'm not going there alone, and I'm going to be in a hostel with other females and other people. So I felt safe enough to venture on this trip, and that was my opportunity to see Abuja for the first time. So why would I say no to such opportunity? So I registered 3,000 naira, and just like that, I found myself in Abuja, where we spent 2 weeks. I got to see CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, their headquarters there. And ever since then, I've not been to Abuja again. Now, imagine if I hadn't taken that opportunity to go to Abuja. Of course, I would still visit Abuja when I get back home. But I really love the fact that I took that opportunity and I went there and I came back safely. That reminds me, when I was in Ozubulu too, I also took a trip from Ozubulu to Imo State, Owerri, Imo State. It was a crazy trip, because that particular day my mom came looking for me. My phone was off. There was no way she could trace me. She went to the office, she couldn't find me. Asked my co-workers, they couldn't find me. And I was just a little girl of 15 years. We're in the country, traveling, without even knowing anybody. It was very crazy and silly of me, because a lot of bad things could have happened to me then. I just picked my small purse that I had then, picked my phone and a charger in case I found somewhere else to charge it, and I went on this trip from Ozubulu, Anambra State, to Imo State, Owerri, without knowing anybody. I don't know what I was thinking. It was very risky, it was very silly, it was very stupid, but I did it, and I came back alive. Then after staying 2 good years in Abịa and all the experiences and traveling and everything, I went back from Abịa State back to Orifte, because I was sick and I needed my mom to take care of me. Yeah, perks of being a baby girl. So I went back to Orifte and I stayed there for I think a year, from 2019 to 2020. In 2021 again, I moved from Orifte to Awka, our capital, the capital of Anambra State, to live there alone. I was supposed to be a speaker at one of the youth conventions. Someone who saw my post, I'm still friends with the man who saw what I was doing online then and wanted me to teach digital marketing to the youth corpus. I was very 18 years then, and I was very small girl. Imagine my height now, and imagine what I looked like when I was 18. No difference, still the same. I went there, and instead of me going all the way, going to Awka, it was supposed to last 3 months. Then we calculated the transport from Imo State to Awka every single day for the convention. I need to be there on time for the conference. We decided that it's better I get an apartment there in Awka and stay there. And again, I moved from Orifte to Awka to live alone for 1 good year. The convention didn't take place. I wasn't working. I was always indoors, to the point that my neighbor thought that I traveled for good 1 month, because they don't see my face. I don't come outside because I don't work. I only come outside when I need to get something that's like fetch water or go to the nearest market to buy things. Aside from that, I'm always indoors and you wouldn't even know that I'm at home. So I stayed there for 1 year, and then when my rent expired, instead of renewing the rent because I wasn't really working, I wasn't my main source of income was my online business, which I was doing then, and my mom. Yes, my mom was my source of income. It's a shame. Anyways, after 1 good year of staying in Awka doing nothing, I moved again from Awka back to Owerri, and I stayed in Owerri the rest of 2002 and the beginning of 2003. I moved again from Owerri to Lagos State since February 2023. And in Lagos State too, I was moving from Abulado, where I lived first, to Abulashun, and then from Abulashun to Satellite. I think Satellite is part of Abulashun. To Satellite, and where I lived with someone before I finally moved again to Ajangbadi, which is after Alaba International. That's where I lived from April this year to September this year, 2024. I moved 3 places from the time I came to Lagos, 2023 February. Ending of May, I moved to Abulashun. From Abulashun, around June or July, I moved to Satellite, the main satellite town where I lived for the rest of 2023, and January, February, March, April again, I moved from Satellite to after Alaba International, Ajangbadi, after Alaba International. And then I stayed in Ajangbadi from April to September. September again in 2024, I moved, because it seems my whole life is about moving. I moved from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, to Lubumbashi, Congo. And that is like the summary of the whole thing. And this is something that's been happening for since I was a child, since around 5-6 years till now that I'm 22 years. I've been moving, and it's so interesting because I've always have this desire to travel the world, to see people, to experience new places, new people, new culture, new food. So it isn't a surprise to me when I am always in motion, always on the move. I can't guarantee how long I'm going to stay here again before I pick up my bag, pack my bags again, and I move. I'm always moving. So the main point of this whole story is that I didn't just wake up to be me. I didn't just wake up to find myself this way. I didn't just wake up and suddenly realize that, oh, I have a visa to Congo, or now I have a passport and I can fly to anywhere. I didn't just wake up to find myself here. I've always been this way. I've always loved traveling. I've always loved experiencing new places. I've always been me, always been this way. I'll continue to be this way because this is just the beginning. This is just the start. I still have a whole lot of places that I want to experience starting from next year. Right? So this is just like a summary. Of course, I promised to share more about my stay here, and I'll do that. I just wanted to put this video out first. I'm going to share with you some of the culture shock that I've experienced here in Congo, the difference. If you are Igbo, you might know this Igbo saying, "Ihe ndị Nnewi ka ndị na-asọ." There are things we don't eat over there in Nigeria, things we don't eat as Igbo people, as correct Igbo person, that they do eat here. And I find it really weird. But that's all perks of experiencing new place. And also some of the culture shock I'm going to share with you and share my experience living here with you. But that will be for next video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I always look forward to reading comments on my posts. I really love it. Getting comments with my posts. People sharing with me their perspective, their opinions, their experiences. I love it. So I'm looking forward to seeing your own experience in the comment section. If there's anything you want me to talk about, to make a video about, also let me know in the comment section, because I'll be there waiting for you. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video.